favor of ratifying the 2014 budget, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Any? That budget is ratified. 2015. Tatiana, a second? Can we hear a second? Any discussion? All those in favor of ratifying the 2015 budget?
Aye. Aye. Tatiana. Tatiana, can you say aye as well?
Okay, that budget is ratified. Now we can talk about 2016, the budget, which is for this year, mailed out. A motion to adopt it.
Motion to adopt.
A second? Any discussion? Any questions about the budget? It calls for an increase. Is that correct? Dennis, do you have anything to comment on that? I know that you worked integrally with the budgets.
Just that the budget has been increased by the 5%.
Which is to cover general operating expenses or other contingencies. Any questions? Okay. Second? Okay, all those in favor of approving the budget? Opposed? The budget is adopted. Discussion of the delinquency for the Town Center Condominium Association, which includes a general delinquency and I guess a water and sewer delinquency. Is there any comment you'd like to make about that?
There is a receivable from the Town Center Condo Association to the foundation that goes back 6-7 years. We've been trying to collect that. The foundation has asked the Town Center Association to collect those dues and has been unsuccessful. The foundation has been patiently waiting for those funds, which is a critical part of the operations that has not happened. We want to bring that to everybody's attention. I know many of you, I'm sure are not, those people are not paying the monthly dues, but quite a few of you or your neighbors are not paying the dues. And you cannot operate the foundation without paying the monthly dues. So just to check. I'm sorry.
Is that why you haven't been doing maintenance?
Yeah, I don't think that's correct. We can discuss that when we come to that section. First, just to keep it more orderly, welcome to what you're doing. But that doesn't excuse somebody to pay the operating expenses, that pays the taxes, the insurance, not just maintenance. We don't pay taxes, tax authority will come up to you and will close them. So, say maintenance, I don't think it's fair, and many of you, majority of you have paid. So it's not fair for some, I don't know, 3.5% of the units who are not paying at all, to put you in this situation. There's nothing to do with maintenance. So
Where are the reserves?
Pardon?
Where are the reserves that are supposed to be on hand?
Well, the reserves are actually the responsibility of the Town Center Condo Association, which I'm sure you can talk to your board members and see why they have not collected reserves.
Foundation.
No, Town Center Condo Association, not the foundation.
Can you speak louder? The documents for the foundation do not require the establishment of reserves. So,
Do those documents require repairs to the buildings?
ongoing maintenance is an obligation of the association.
So what happens for the past 12 years with no
Foundation
ongoing
and
maintenance?
Yes, sir. Okay,
May I add something to that? Important discussion. So our former legal counsel did actually do a demand of records and financials this past April. They,
Could you please say that louder?
absolutely, which they did receive finally. Well, if you'd like me to stress that, I'll also stress that my first demand was ignored in 2014 and Charlie Eldridge was ignored in 2013. So you did come through with some of what was requested. My question is, in reviewing those numbers, I'm confused when I look at the accounts receivable detail, et cetera, it says there's delinquencies and what you said, the code does not match what our records say. I'm a little confused when I look through those numbers and went individual owner by owner that I know to be delinquent. In many cases, there were zeros next to those. So,
Dennis, can you hear that comment?
Well, we haven't seen
I
those.
can, the only thing I can say is if you can supply your records, we'd be happy to provide the details of the payments that we received versus what was charged to the condo association, to arrive at the current receivable.
okay,
So maybe that does need to be done.
right, right. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of discrepancies though, so it's a little concerning that what your record's showing, there were delinquencies actually on your record that do not show on ours. And to my knowledge, you receive all information through the condo association, am I correct?
Payment from the condo association, partial payments,
So, I'm asking if you receive all financial information regarding owners from the Town Center Condo Association.
Does the association directly provide you the information regarding who has and has not paid? I think that's the question you're
Yes,
asking.
thank you.
I think that's partial information that's been received.
Okay. That would be interesting.
So for the record, John, if I might make a suggestion,
Louder,
as
please.
we table this discussion, on the agenda is actually circulated prior to today. I think this issue was today.
I do have one question. When you guys were looking at the delinquencies in the condo, the payments, how much of that is actually from possible units that were bank foreclosed during that time? And did you, have you guys sought to go after the bank for those foreclosed past due funds?
The state of Florida is limited to 12 months.
Correct.
Some of those definitely come from foreclosed units. But again, they're supposed to be collected, not foundation. They're supposed to be collected now at the condo association.
Okay, so
So they have to go after them.
Mr. Oden's suggestion is that the issue of the delinquencies be supplementally reviewed, perhaps by a smaller group of management on both sides.
Or at least cover the agenda unless the
My name is Patrick Willis, for the record,
Yes.
also counsel for Town Center Condo Association. We have a number of objections that some folks might be on the record, to this meeting overall. If you'd like, I can run through them now. If you want me to wait until later, you tell me. We did have some objections that we wanted to get on the record. Okay, so for the first objection, we would note, we would note that the agenda that went out before, as part of the notice of this meeting, is different from the agenda that's being circulated today. This is in contravention of chapter 720 and also the bylaws for the foundation, so we would object on that basis. We would also object, the foundation is subject to chapter 720. I know there's going to be an objection from
Yes, that's an opinion, that is not a fact.
well, it's really not. If you look at 720-302, in fact, I have a copy of that here for you to look at it. So we'd like to raise that as an issue here, that the formalities of chapter 720 have not been followed today, including there's a competitive bid requirement under chapter 720, 3055 for any capital expenditure that exceeds 10% of the annual budget. The annual budget, the one that I saw was about $700,000, and we're talking about a $4 or $5 million capital improvement assessment. To my knowledge, the competitive bid requirement has not been followed. That would not apply to the architect that you hire, but it would apply to your general contractor. So we'd like verification of that. As far as we know, 720-3055 has not been followed. The other thing is that we're not aware of notice of this meeting being posted 48 hours in advance. That's 720-303 subsection 2A for all board meetings, including special board meetings. Posted notice in a conspicuous place somewhere on the foundation property. We're not aware of that being complied with. In fact, a 14-day posted notice is required for this meeting because of 720-303 as well, because this, what is being called a capital improvement assessment is actually what would be defined under 718. That definition is followed by chapter 720, specifically 720-308. Special assessment is any assessment above and beyond what's included in the budget. The budget that I saw was circulated with the notice only provided for shared facility and component facility assessments, not a capital improvement assessment, which is clearly above and beyond the budget, which means it's a special assessment, so we object on that basis too. 14 days notice of that special assessment was not posted, to my knowledge. All of these issues would render this meeting null and void, any votes taken by the board. We would also note under chapter 720-315 that any special assessments pre-turnover, which is the stage of the foundation that we're still in, is pre-turnover, it has been turned over to the membership. That provision prohibits special assessments, period. So it would also be our position that anything that qualifies as special assessment, which capital improvement assessments would, is not allowed by 720-315. We also take issue with the direct assessment, the direct capital improvement assessment. Those are common element properties. The foundation declaration addresses shared facility assessments, which would be common areas outside of the building, such as parking lots and stuff like that, sidewalks. Defines component facility assessments, which is basically the shared portion of the building. And we would like to know what the basis is. The foundation is basing its ability to assess the condominium association directly for portions of the building that qualify as common elements. We do not believe that issue is clearly defined in the foundation declaration. It's at a minimum ambiguous, which means that it would not be construed in the foundation's favor if litigated in a court of law. So we just wanted to raise those objections, and it is our position that any votes taken at the board meeting tonight are null and void.
So, suppose we should explain for anybody here who's not an attorney, the difference between the posture of the foundation with regard to this entity and your attorney's position that it is a homeowners association. I don't know how many original owners are here, but way back in the day, we had a celebration town hall and had a lot of graphics that showed the structure of this community according to the document. I'm sure you are all familiar with the fact that it is principally a commercial entity downtown. Celebration has shops and offices, and one part of the building, the group of buildings that are governed by the foundation are dedicated to residential occupancy, and that part of the project was developed as a conversion condominium of 105 units, which is known as the Town Center condominium, and I'm assuming most of you are either residents or tenants of the project. Do I have that right so far?
Yeah.
Okay. The foundation's documents create a not-for-profit entity, not a homeowners association. So this is the job of attorneys to differ with regard to the interpretation of the law. You do have an excerpt actually from 720, which says that 720 does not apply to a community that is composed of property primarily intended for commercial, industrial, or other non-residential use. So where the conversation would have to be decided, clearly the foundation governs more square footage of commercial and other non-residential property than it governs of residential property. And clearly the character of downtown overall has been commercial in nature. But neither your council, nor I, nor the other lawyers here are judges. So I think the threshold argument that your lawyer is advocating is that because this project, in his opinion, is a homeowners association, you're number one entitled to rely on the provisions of 720 in all of the meeting process, and number two, in the manner in which assessments might be levied or budgets might be adopted, you can also rely on that process. A court of competent jurisdiction has not adjudicated that to be the case, nor have they said that I am correct. However, for the last 13 years, this project has operated under its documents as a not-for-profit corporation, commercial in nature, under the provisions of the restrictions which are recorded. That's our position. So I think there will be no agreement between the two sides on that issue tonight, and I'm sure that we can go forward on that basis, but I do think that what you've come here to find out about is very important, and because everyone's taken their time today, and then I'll let you speak, Mr. Rose, if you want, I think we should hear from Mr. Dixon, who is an independent architect, who is retained to evaluate the condition of the buildings and make recommendations, to hear what unit owners have to say about all their concerns in an orderly manner, notwithstanding that you will not have a meeting of the minds as to whether 720 does or does not apply to the decisions made here. I think most people have come out because they probably say that their buildings need work. I don't know. They don't think they need anything. But I think we should hear from the professionals, get the input from the unit owners, and then talk about the reasonable next step. That's just my suggestion, because you won't get all these people in a room again in a hurry, and now they've come here. So I think in order to accomplish something positive, that needs to happen. Even if no vote is taken or no assessment is levied or somebody wants to object to the assessment at the end of the day, at least you will have vetted some of those concerns. Do you gentlemen have an objection to that?
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I think you actually said it well. Again, everybody, my name is John, and I represent the association. I would point out one thing for everyone who is not a lawyer, or is not a lawyer who deals with these issues regularly, and that is the statutes that regulate not-for-profit entities, the statutes that regulate homeowners associations, specifically envision that more than one statute can apply simultaneously. That's one thing that wasn't mentioned in what you said. And there are actually sections of the statutes that say which statute trumps if those statutes apply. And the homeowners association statute, that's 720, that the condo association's lawyers are saying apply here, trumps the not-for-profit section. And you're not going to hear anything out of it that says otherwise. Where both apply, the HOA statute governs. So I just want to get everything out. I don't have anyone speaking in terms of anything at all. I want everyone to have their voice, but I wanted to point that out for everyone. We feel very firmly at 720.
I understand your position.
I want to chime in real quick too. The other portions of the statute that this man was reading from says that the chapter is intended to give statutory recognition to corporations that operate, not-for-profit corporations that operate residential communities. And the next sentence after she quoted says that she's talking about what it doesn't apply to. It says commercial or industrial parcels in the community contains
residential parcels and parcels intended for commercial and industrial uses.
You have a beautiful mixed-use condominium building, and it, you know, the statute anticipates that and says that the residential components are regulated by 720, so that's the basis.
The residential components are only the condominium units though, because it doesn't apply to commercial space in a project with both, and this space is not condominium space, it's strictly commercial space. So you would stand, arguably, if you're correct, let's pretend that you're right. Let's pretend that you're 100% on the money. In that case, the condominium association would be subject to 720, and the commercial entity would be not subject to 720. There's only two partners in this agreement, the commercial and the residential. So we're right back to the same place we were at before. It's not a mixed-use condominium, it's not a
So
condo
why does the
hotel.
deli call me when it leaks? If it's not mixed use, how is it that the deli calls me when there's a leak in their ceiling because my unit's above? None of you are judges, so I think your best plan was what you said previously. Let's agree to move on and move down the agenda that you did not properly notice, so that maybe some information can be posted and dealt with today, versus the scheming that's been done previously.
That was my follow-up question. Start from 720, was the agenda posted? The agenda that was circulated that I got out of was different from what you came out tonight, which would be a no-no under your own documents, regardless of whether 720 applies.
I believe the intention on the agenda which was posted was to summarize the issues that were coming before the board on the budget.
Your own bylaws require you to post that.
I understand about the posting.
So that wasn't done in our presentation. Because if that wasn't done by your own documents, this meeting is null and void.
Madam Chairman, I wanted to thank you for thinking of another way to keep moving through this, since we all showed up. And I would like to ask if you could allow the members to speak, before you decide to take a vote. It's not listed that way on the agenda, but if you could do that, that would be wonderful.
Here is what I think we should do. With regard to the posting, I can't answer because I actually didn't do the posting myself, and I know we furnished the member, one of the obligations is to furnish the member is the condo association, and I don't know what the protocol there from management is,
Member
but
is actually all of the unit owners. Condo association is to vote their interest. They're the member. Condo is not.
I have a question.
yes.
Can we just start from the beginning when you bought the property in 2004, when you had no experience? And talk about how much money was supposed to be put in escrows to start, when the roof was only 15 years, only to be able to. The roof was only supposed to last 7 years when you bought it. It was a 15-year roof when you bought the whole complex for $19 million. So in 2011, all the roofs should have been replaced at a cost of $342,000. And you were supposed to put in $122,000 to start. This is all in the condo documents that I got when I bought my unit brand new. So I contacted you through email. The picture of my condo in 2004 when you bought it, the roof already needs to be replaced. You guys patched it. I've been leaking 3 times since 2009. I contacted you through email 2009, no response, and it's been leaking up until this day. I have an email that says in 2012 it was in the budget to replace the roof. This is 2016. I think everybody wants to know is, where is all the money? Can you just start from the beginning when you went to your closing, signed for $19 million, sold the units, and every unit that was sold was supposed to have money put in escrow for the roof and all the other expenses that you guys had listed as your budget for the next year. Since 2009, my roof has been leaking, and I got the warning from the foundation, I have an independent contractor that had to cut a hole in my closet to go up in the roof he pointed out where the leak was coming from. You guys came over and patched it again, and I have the contract right here, his estimate that the sheeting was all rotted in 2011, and the valley needed to be stripped and redone from then. So I think if we can just start with when you bought it, how much money was started, and then how everything was supposed to progress from there, and how we got to the point where there's no money and you look at $5 million. You pay $5 million a year in property tax. Where does that money come from? All the events downtown. You have to pay a $1,500 permit fee every single year to bring people down to downtown that they rent, that they have to go into those restaurants, spend money, not only pay rent, then you actually collect 3% of all the gross receipts at the end of the month. So is that not profit? Non-profit? When people rent a store downtown, you collect rent, and then you also collect 3% of the gross sales for the month?
First of all, the operation of the commercial entity independently.
He owns everything. He owns the whole downtown, doesn't he?
But they're a member, they just have to, they pay their share into the
He's
foundation.
on the board.
Yeah.
Like, start from the beginning when you first bought it, like, how was it supposed to progress to now how we need $15 million to replace a roof that should have been replaced? It only had a 7-year lifespan when you bought it. A 7-year lifespan when you bought it.
If I could just,
It was just a question.
One second, because I only want one person at a time to speak, so that's fine. Oh, this gentleman is going to be next after, so I don't know
I
anyone.
also want everyone please to state your name and spell it. We have a record being created here, and please, everyone try to keep it.
My name is Frank McCulley, McCulley, and I own 2 units. 611 Campus Street, Unit 320, and 715 Bloom Street, Unit 210.
Thank you for that information. Now, did you have to finish up, because this gentleman?
Like I said, I mean,
There's a
we all
question
just
that
want to
needs to be
know,
answered.
where did the money go that was allocated for all these things? There is an elevator in one building. Why are we paying elevator maintenance? No one can use it. Why? That doesn't make any sense. There's an elevator that no one uses. There's one person that uses it. Why doesn't he pay? It's for the restaurant. That no one can use that elevator. I'm sorry.
What I was thinking of, I'm sorry, my name is John Byrne, and we own a unit in town, and we also own this 21 real estate offices. And in fairness to
Frank.
what you're going to hear dozens upon dozens upon dozens of stories and examples like that. We could probably cover the rest of the evening. And I think that it needs to go on record that there is a view that there is the maintenance aspect of the association that has been neglected and is a dereliction of duty on you guys' behalf on a monumental scale. And I'm not sure that, I want to think that you're not aware of the bulk of this stuff. That's what I want to do. Because I think once you listen to 200 or whatever it's going to be, total stories, to be frank, this is going to be just, and we've been involved now, we've seen stuff going back year after year after year after year. And if I was sat in your chair, with the greatest respect, I would not know what to say. I would not know what to say. There are going to be, as I say, countless stories like this. And I think there needs to be an understanding of the extent of the dereliction of duty in the maintenance of these buildings.
Hi, my name's Bernard Furstenberg, Ferstgenberg. I'm at 611 campus, and I just wanted to build on something that Mr. Metten said, which was all the money that they put into maintenance. My question is, what maintenance? I've been here almost 10 years. The only maintenance I've seen where my apartment door was painted, which I paid $25 for. That was it. Oh, I take that back. There was a little bit of painting done in the hallway, as long as it didn't go above someone's waist. That's all the painting. You can see where it was done. Meanwhile, everything else is rotting, and that's what's causing the problems today, is all this lack of maintenance. You can look at any city government, anywhere when maintenance is lacked, that's when you cause these problems. Had the maintenance been kept up, there would not be this meeting today. It would not be necessary. So my question is, actually to you, Mr. Metten, what maintenance that you spoke of?
Also at 611, I have to go all the way down.
Say your name again, sir.
Scotty Mizunoki on 611 campus. I have to go all the way down the other end of the building because of the stairwell. What's happening there? I mean, is that case, did that come out of their maintenance fees and we're paying for that? I mean, this was just the upper floor. Then the last time I came down here, you know, the whole stairwell came go up. Yeah. Why? Why did it take so long to get that worked up?
Just get an answer to any of these questions. Any answer?
He wanted to hear some of people's comments.
Well, we would like some answers to the question.
Yeah.
You know, my name's Jeff Adams, I represent 709 Main Street, number 180. You know,
Unit 20.
unit number 180.
Unit 20.
No, I'm representing my client. So my, when I got involved on the process, it was because the tenant called me, said there was water leaking into their unit. Before we're starting to bustle, we went ahead, we addressed it as best we could. Took about a month before I got a response back and forth, so I went through one management company, and then didn't answer, and then I finally answered when I got a hold of Janice, and you know, got a little bit more. In the process, though, you know, my clients paid money to try to take care of the tenant that was in the unit. We had to clean out air conditioners, we had to spend our own money in order to try to resolve issues that were beyond our control. And in the process, I sent an invoice to Janice, and her and another employee decided just to go back and forth and bash the entire process and what we were trying to do, and bash the company that I work for, because of things that we put on the front porch. Instead of actually addressing the issue, then they decided it was more fun to go back and forth, not realizing that I was copied on the emails.
My name's Emily, we're on the 660 celebration. My question is to Dan Vincent. As an independent contractor, Dan, with good conscience, and through all these buildings, you've seen the neglect of the maintenance, so you can verify all these stories, correct? And the extent of the neglect of this.
It's a bit more complicated than that.
Oh.
I don't have, in fact, the gentleman back there, who has he actually has more apparent history on some of the maintenance stuff than I do.
But I want to say,
What
you
I
don't
mainly,
see this.
what I've noticed, we've noticed a variety of things with respect to construction, maintenance. We've noticed some where unit owners have sealed their balcony. We've noticed a little bit of everything. I mean, with aging buildings, you would expect that.
Well, we've had to seal the buildings, not have the maintenance, we've had to glue and pack our own because we don't get the maintenance was wrong.
We were physically told to do that.
I was told point blank, lift the plastic over the wall. That was what he wanted. That was the advice that I got very end.
Director question, maybe just sort of bring all of these together, and it's sort of the biggest one, and it goes back to whether it's the management staff around here or however much thoughtful, transparent, whatever adjective you'd like to use. So my question is, after thousands of hours going through files and owner records, reading emails, they could have all not made it to you. So my question is, with the information you had, what allowed you to think that an inspection from the ground, looking at the building and getting this job on was sufficient to address the concerns that I see hundreds and hundreds of emails addressing? That's the part I don't understand, and if I had one question, how did that happen? That no destructive testing was called for, that's in the summary report, so while we never received the full engineering, we did receive that portion in the summary. And in there, no qualms from the ground view, no water dye testing, no destructive testing, no infrared testing. Now, we've gone back and you folks have filled in some of those things. Because we pointed them out to you, I don't believe you went looking for them. However, when I send the email at midnight that says this unit has been leaking since 2008, people show up, and I appreciate that. It's a little too late for a lot of our owners who spent thousands of dollars out of their pocket. So just, if you could just summarize it with what information you had that made you certain that was sufficient.
For all the frustrations you have. I'm not close to the maintenance here, so I have not known the extent of this issue or problem.
If you're the owner of the company, you should know.
You're the owner, and you have people here who are doing the job. The vote should stop with you.
Yes.
What?
Could you also clarify where the minutes for passport meetings are, or anything like that? If we've been invited to them? Where have all the passports been? Have the notices to date? I'm just talking about that for the same. But I think a lot of us are here because this is the first time we've ever been invited to this conversation. So do you have that available for us as well?
That's the obligation. Florida law. You ask for it.
You helped Ruth. Do you want to stand, Ruth?
As I said at the last meeting, I'm a new kid on the block. I wonder where in the name of God have you people been? I just got here. I've lived with pounding on my door and roof and everything else. And then you expect me to pay for just getting the use of my house? Not yet. Not yet. Wait. And you people are all hired by and paid by the enemy? What is wrong with you people? I can't understand it. Those women work their heads off. Where were all the men? We had a new man on offer, Mr. Davis. He's here, I don't know. Yeah, he is. And I know he'll make a difference. But I am bad as hell. But I am better than that. Because I'm not paying these thieves. And then I'm told when I buy the place that you're gonna fix the building and make it nicer. Oh, yes. I'm not paying a cent. And neither should you people unless you do something about it yourselves, all of you.
Compliment you like a uniform to F like Foxtrot, E-L-M-A-N, lives at 709 Bloom Street, number 130. I am proud to be her daughter. You now know what I look like. 91 years old.
There's your house. David, did you want to speak in a minute? I think David does have a moment to weigh in on this.
My pictures in it.
Yeah, baby. Yes.
If I may go on the record, my name is David Haskins, that's H-A-S-K-I-N-S. My wife Donna and I live next door to the young lady that just spoke. And 140 Bloom Street, I mean, the apartment 147 and 9 Bloom Street. We have been there from the beginning. We moved out there in 2003 before Lexington purchased. We rented. Lexington purchased in 2004. In November of 2004, guess who we bought our condo from? The organization is representing us right up here at the front. Now, we have been there continuously since then. In fact, we like the area so well, my wife's mother even moved out to 180, which is the other end there, and was there for several years. She got sick and passed away. And all that time, we have not seen the buildings painted once. I'm an ex-professor from Valencia College. I deal in facts. That's less than one painting since 2004. That's a lack of any kind of maintenance. Basic maintenance prevents serious problems. All I want to do is go on the record when that started, how long we've been there, we are continuously there, even though we can't see out the front because it's black, and we have to walk through construction to get into the back. Thank you.
And if I could add something else to that, in addition to that, recently, they cut this little strip of grass off it 3 times in 1 week. What the hell?
Why waste the time cutting the grass?
It's dirt.
You can't
3
walk through
times in 1 week.
You can't walk through there.
Or 2009, yours was supposed to be painted. 2009 was the last 5 years when you bought it.
I know.
$200,000 for painting.
Yes, ma'am.
Paid off.
For years, also maintenance issues, various been discussed with the foundation. I just want to bring attention to in 2009, finally, it culminated in the roof leak and the water going to our master bedroom. We finally got a tiny bit of attention in the format of a letter signed by Jillian Walker, an agent of Lexington Celebration. This was CC to the foundation board. So the foundation board members your compliance with the regulations was approved. And it's just that the foundation board was copied, so all members of the board, in January 2009. Which I-
You couldn't do anything since we weren't allowed to do any audit. I think yes, that, can you imagine the frustration? And now this bill.
Is Mr. Davis?
Michael Davis, I'm at 721 Front Street. I'm new to this, not quite as new, but new. My concern is, Mr. Metten, you have said you were not aware of maintenance issues. The board is made up of 5 of your employees.
Three individuals are on the board. Just so
Three.
you know.
I apologize. The issue that I have, having listened to all of this, is, as a businessman, as you clearly are, would you give money to yourself? Would you give money to the team that created these comments? And say to us, give us your money, have confidence in it. I think what we have here is a total lack of confidence. I'm interested in hearing whether you would give money to the team that has created this.
I think whatever I could say right now, obviously you guys all together to have a place.
Oh, come on.
Win! If you want, I can just go back, fly back, just we can cancel the meeting, meet another month. It's not a big deal.
Hey, man.
It's not, it's fun to be in this chair right now.
You put yourself
You were the owner of the company.
Wait a minute. There is someone in charge of this meeting. It is very important that order in this meeting prevails. This is all being recorded. There's going to be a record. You have all asked questions. I have asked questions. It is appropriate that either the questions be answered or a time schedule for answers be provided. It does nothing to yell and scream. Excuse me.
Thank you, sir. Would you hold your question for 1 second in the back? I see there are 2 gentlemen who
Thank
would like to speak. This gentleman. Yes. That's why I'm asking.
What I would suggest is let us go back to look at the history of maintenance and things that we've done over the years, which I'm happy to do. Let us review and come back to you with more specific answers. I cannot respond. Lawyers already have.
No, I agree. I think that's a great idea. I would also suggest what I would ask you to do, something that's doing some, you want to speak with your counsel, that's what I think it's a fair suggestion, is that you consider agreeing to let us bring in, I know Mr. Dixon is your perspective neutral to all this, but I would like the opportunity to have our own independent evaluation of construction issues, our costs, association's costs. And I would like there a promise from you that there be transparency. If we request certain documents on the financials, you agree to turn it over so we can all get to the truth of this, and then come back and discuss this in a continued orderly fashion. That's what I would like you to do.
Mr. Taylor has not responded.
This is not going to come across well, I understand. So, I've been to a lot of these meetings, and I know you're legitimately upset. We're not going to answer that question until we will talk to you after this meeting is over, out of the emotion that is involved.
I just thought that people would like to hear the answer to that question.
Well, I know you do. I know you would like to hear that question. The answer is we're not going to answer that question tonight. We will be pleased to talk to either one or both of you, and then we can talk about how that's going to be.
I tried. I tried, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you for that little punch.
Thank you for your credibility.
So anyway, so I think what I'm going to suggest is, I think what I'm hearing from the President
There are two other people in the back of this gentleman that want to have their comments, and we're happy to let you speak.
Absolutely, we're not shutting the meeting down for that purpose, but I believe that based on what we're hearing tonight, that it would be best to actually continue with the conversation. Mr. Davis, thank you so much for bringing this back in. I think, give us a chance to vent and vet, and then I think we'll probably just go ahead and cancel the meeting at this point and reschedule it at a later date. Is that okay? All right, so now back to the question.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's possible is that I'm sure that you're planning on providing the transcript of commentary, because there were many owners that spoke, so that Mr. Negrin and his staff can look at all, because people have identified what unit, how long, and when, and that is very detailed information. So a copy to them will be great. The first come, first serve. Suggest the gentleman in the blue shirt, followed by the other gentleman, and then this man right here. Sorry.
Hi, my name's Adrian Giannotta. I'm in 611 campus. My question is, throughout all of this, over all the years, all the problems that we're all having, you know, we're putting a lot of focus on all this financial. The question is, where was the concern for the public safety, the tenants? This is a community. There's families. These are people. Where's the concern for the public safety if this is all happening? What happened? That's all.
Mr. Negrin, by now you've heard a great deal of the construction of the property, condition of the town. I'm sorry, Kevin Kirby, 660 Celebration Ave, 210. The condition of the town have you affected each owner individually and collectively?
Come forward, sir.
Come forward a little louder, yeah.
Right. By now you've heard a great deal about the construction of the property, condition of the town, and how you've affected each owner individually and collectively, or far from over, as you consider. I'm sure hearing the same thing can turn into a blur, so to better explain our positions, I wanted to take you out of your loafers and into our shoes, to make this a little more personal. Imagine if your home life was about to be disrupted, requiring you to stay-at-home wife to pick up a full-time job to pay a bill that's already been paid. I doubt you'd want to see that play out. Imagine having to pull Jeremy from the prestigious kindergarten that had an application process in an Ivy League school, so you can save the Allen Citizens tuition to put that into your mortgage-free home. Imagine buying a $7 million apartment on the Upper East Side, but being ordered to pay a special assessment of $3.5 million just a few years after your purchase, without no way to sell, rent, or otherwise keep your property. Can you imagine yourself in any one of these situations? Thankfully, you aren't, which is first-hand experience. It's not a comfortable spot. Mr. Negrin, you have a choice this evening. From this point forward, to work ethically with integrity. Don't do it for me, and don't do it for any one of these owners in this building. A real man that wins an award for high respect of being a Turkish American should earn it, not just be handed a prize that wasn't deserved. Don't you think? You personally toured this property with a hard hat in hand. You've been here today. If that's how I see the man responsible for these issues, how should I feel as a resident when I lay my head down to sleep at night? You're in the business of capital real estate investment development. Would you buy a town center as it sits now? Would you trust yourself with an investment firm? Would you trust yourself after your current record with a blank check? I really do. I hate to end things on a negative note. And with that, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for bringing together all my neighbors in here. And myself together. A way no other person ever could. Thank you for attempting to bring havoc on this town. Thank you for giving all 100 finalists a common goal. And I understand you can't make response to town and be too loud. You look on your phone, you have a missed call. That's my number for
why they wouldn't want condominium association's input into the care process. The offers on the table.
We didn't say we didn't. You all are doing this as a grand meeting, and that's fine. And I would do the same thing if I were sitting where you are. I'm telling you right now that we will talk to you after the meeting. We will work together to get to the point you want to get. But I'm not going to make any promises tonight that we can't keep because we're telling everybody they're hearing
an explanation of what the hesitation is.
Well, first of all, you're creating a record that you would like to use theoretically. I mean, everyone's seen all the TV shows. We make statements that then are used in a lawsuit to impeach somebody for whatever they promised and didn't deliver. And I think you ask for certain things. Cooperation is absolutely the most successful vehicle for community association work, and for any of us who've been doing it for our whole careers, we understand that. You do, I do, and Mr. Taylor. And so we are going to meet after, as he said. We're happy to do that. I'm happy to give everyone in this room an opportunity to be heard because everyone took their time to come here. So whether there is or isn't an assessment is not the issue. You're right. This is a great forum to hear and vet all the issues because that's the only way to get to the common goal. Mr. McGrin has an investment in this project as well. He operates the commercial shops and other office space. Celebration has its own aura, things that have to be done. We have letters that show that they need to be done, and we're willing to work with the residential association to accomplish those goals. There was a meeting before you were involved. I believe, Laurel, you were at it, right? Wasn't there? Oh, you were at it. Okay. So some representatives were there without counsel. I wasn't there either. So I think that can be accomplished as well. We don't want to make a laundry list of promises that then, won't be exactly kept and there'll be more name calling. I think that's really not, that's a mistake.
I don't think we were looking for a laundry list. So you're telling me you guys are open to that?
The question's been answered 3 times.
We are open to other
So I don't
input.
see any reason to continue this conversation. This question been answered.
I just don't understand the hesitation. I get your response.
There was a gentleman. This gentleman is next. He was next. Then Laurel, you're next.
My name is Robert Young, it's YONG. 611 Campbell Street, Unit 140 for a year and a half, so we got issues because we're underneath you. I can go through those, but I'm not a lawyer, certainly not a contractor, I'm a math teacher. So I know about as much about this lawyer stuff as you do about blocking against that plan. But I do know this, as the head man, it all goes back to the head man. And sooner or later, I've got 2 former players that are attorneys now, and they assured me that sooner or later, light is going to go flying wrong. And I guess that's pretty much all I've got.